I was watching my Ty Lopez video from the other day, and one thing I mentioned in my short story time of the video before I gave my take on the whole lawsuit is that I felt his approach and self-help model was very impractical to my lifestyle. He spoke about health, wealth, love, and happiness. If you do this and you have all this knowledge, you can do that. Yet I didn't value any of this besides wealth because I didn't at that time period, I didn't really care for love or building friendships. I didn't care about my health mentally or physically. And I thought I was mostly happy with life. I was satisfied, but I cared about getting that money, you know what I'm saying? Which would in result make me more happy. That I already felt I was. Now, looking back at this, and I just realized there was another issue with this business model. And I feel like this is something a lot of people, what they do or they pride themselves in, but it's not productive. People always talk about this knowledge and everything. Like people be like, I read this book. I read that book. I'm reading all these books on self-help and self-discovery. People got a whole library of books in their room related to changing their life. Chicken Soup for the Soul. Self-help books that are designed to change your life if you read from front to back, right? I used to be that way too. I felt smarter. It sometimes rubbed my ego, you know what I'm saying? That I was reading books about knowledge and wisdom, self-help. Oh, this book, these principles will help change your life. Yet, this is what's funny now because as I've gotten older, and don't get it twisted, I don't have the complete package of health, wealth, love, and happiness. This is me going like, look at me, I fixed my whole life. No, well, what Ty Lopez and these other gurus, what they talk about the key to success in life, in comparison to my prior years, the only ways I realized that I improved my health, my wealth, my love life, and my happiness is when I actually decided to do something. See, this is the thing. You can read all these books and obtain all this wisdom, but if all you do is just create mental clutter with all the information, what now? Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying not reading books is good for you. Don't never read a book. I never said that. I learned many things from reading books, but books have only inspired me to have ideas and strategies, right? But when I never used those ideas or strategies, or I only yapped about it in a YouTube video, it's like, okay, great. I shared or stored the knowledge or wisdom I read in the book, but I'm storing it for whenever. Like I shared in videos this year how much my life has changed this past year, right? I didn't read some fascinating book or watched a YouTube series that explained the secrets of the universe, manifestation, all that sort of stuff, right? No woo-woo. I actually had to pick myself up and confront things I felt like I was lacking in my life. Even though from older videos, it's funny how some of this stuff came to be though, right? Like I talked about how I started going to the gym like many months ago because I felt insecure about what a girl told me. I remember I went through the whole dating apps phase of the Aku anime. And prior to that, I was going out my way to make some business connections and network. And some dude was hating on me so hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all remember, this is all history. I had to literally do a presentation to compete against him. Like, sure, this all happened, right? But man, notice something here. How did all these changes that helped me get in better shape physically and mentally, help my financial situation, going through the rough patches with my friendships and relationships, and help me grow more happiness? This required action. Forget just having knowledge. Because if you don't use it, it's useless. It's unfortunate because I think that's what I fell into for many years. For people who have been watching me for years, you see my videos. I always cared about self-help, right? I would talk about these certain topics, right? And how I would go through them or how I would approach them and certain things with relationships. I always read books or followed ideologies that were designed to help me grow. And I would openly share them with you guys on this channel. And even though I had some of these principles and these things in my head, you can't just rewire the brain immediately to apply changes. You can read smart things, but it doesn't mean your brain is now suddenly like smart. You know what I'm saying? There was this one book I read many years ago called Go for No. Speaking of books, I would actually recommend this book. You know what I'm saying? The book Go for No, right? This book essentially focuses on how you should accept failure as a way to reanalyze what you did wrong and never to take it personally. Because that's the thing. We fail in life and we take it personally. And we may even blame others. We'll blame ourselves too harshly, right? All this sort of stuff. Yet, despite this being from many years ago, I've read this book over like 5 years ago. Only this year, I've gotten better with those things, with actually accepting failure, not trying to take it too personally. Listen, sometimes I still take it personally, okay? I can't just like flip a switch here, but I'm much more tolerant now. I'm much more forgiving for myself. Like, there's a difference between messing something up in your life or failing at something versus identifying yourself as a failure. Does this make sense? Just because you didn't get your way, stop acting like it's the end of the world. I still struggle with this, like I said, but it was worse just a year ago. Now, when I go through failures, because I go through failures every day, I just reassess my situations. Even though I might be sad or angry, I'm very upset about stuff, but hey, doesn't mean I let it consume or I gotta let it define me, right? Can't let it like audit my life. But see, I had that knowledge in my head over 5 years ago. I obtained that wisdom from the book, but no action associated with it. This is the problem with this whole self-help community and knowledge thing. Yeah, I like Ty Lopez. See you talk about knowledge. I read all these books in my garage and all this stuff. All this cool stuff. Yeah, yo, look, and this is just for anybody here. You may be smart. You may be wise. You may be knowledgeable, right? But if you're a slacker or you're not actually doing anything to improve your life, then that high intellect you think you have, or you feel you have, or that wisdom you feel you have, is pointless. Actions involve progress. And it doesn't matter how much money you got in your bank account right now, or your living situations. Are you doing something? Actions will always outperform doing nothing. Especially, actions will always outperform doing nothing with a head full of knowledge, wisdom, and experiences. That's just my opinion, though. What do you guys think? This episode is found on Spotify and YouTube. I'm out.